Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the show. This is the road trip. I'll have my guests show in a little bit, but before we do that, we'll be right back. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the road trip. I got my man, Mr. Tom, with me. How are you doing?
That's my favourite intro you've ever made.
Okay, I like
There's so many different parts of it. And I'm like, oh, I noticed that. Oh, I noticed that. Like when it goes, and then like the background is like it's like coming out of the walls. Like I spot these things, and like the piano and the clock from 24. Oh,
cool. I like it. I'm gonna switch all the other ones over, so we'll be consistent across the board on our shows.
fantastic piece of business. Yeah.
So very nice. No, I heard that music and I was like, that sounds like good intro music. Like I like the other music, but this one is like, you can always do better, right? So we did
Well,
better.
the other music is all like boom, 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 whereas that's more like nice and calm before the chaos.
There you go. Before the chaos. All right. It's early. We're still waiting for some people to wake up. Oh, look at this. As soon as I say it, Arsenal Misfit, Stephen, welcome to the show. Morning to you. Hope you're feeling good. I know you said you're back in business. Is that right? You're back working and back working?
He did say that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. It's good to hear.
After Moosegate.
Moosegate, that's right. Yes, 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 yes. All right, so it is INTERLULL. So, oof,
I
not
love
much.
these. You all hate it, but and I'll sit there and think like, why are you not using this as an opportunity to like? I try and see opportunities in situations, all right. So everyone's all like, "Oh, there's no football. Oh, it's crap." It's like exactly. Go outside and touch grass for 20 seconds. Like,
I don't want to touch any grass. I heard that. I like that phrase though. Go out and touch some grass. This you're sitting in this concrete jungle and you're like not getting any fresh air. You need some more. You need some fresh air, not this probably air that's just not. That's all stale because it's the same air being recycled over and over again. Go out there and get some fresh air, get some real oxygen into your lungs, and you'll be all the better for it.
don't touch grass right now. Like, come sit with us, like on the road trip, like touch grass in 2 hours' time.
There you go.
Or before, but I'm just saying, there's an opportunity to do things that you might not necessarily do when there is football.
Oh, you know what I'm gonna do because there's no football. The bosses told me she said I need to trim the hedges.
Oh, so I said touch grass, but she heard cut grass. All right.
Yeah, so when I'm done here, I need to go outside and with our hedges. One of the hedges is like, I don't know, 10 feet in the air. She's like, can we just cut that down to about 5? So it's going to be a lot of trimming if I actually do it. I don't think I'm going to get down that low, but it needs to be trimmed down so it's like it looks a little bit better than what it is now. You've got Ange in the show. Ange, welcome to the show.
Hello, Ange. So that must mean Ryan's not doing a show this afternoon.
Is England played yesterday, right? So there's no.
I did.
Yeah, and we should talk about that because I can't say this out loud. You didn't hear this from me. I'll plead the fifth, but I was kind of working while I was watching that, and
of course you was.
I'm glad I was
what you're
working.
telling me is spoiler, obviously England beat Malta. I don't know why I said spoiler. Most of you would know this, but he may have. I could tell you what happened on his stream. He basically spent 98% of the match half asleep, saying, "This match is crap. This match is boring." And I don't blame him because it was crap and it was boring.
Yes, yes. Here's the thing. So we are, I mean, we are Arsenal fans all here, right? Me, you, and the rest of the gang, right? We're all Arsenal
Yeah,
fans,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh,
So
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. Of course. All right. Yeah, yeah. I just wear shit football kits for fun.
dude, you know what? I just want you to make sure you have clothes on your back. I don't go out there
Oh,
and tell you, which
I
style
generous
of
of you, Gary.
so I just
Yeah,
want to make you have a shirt on your back. I'm happy to see it. So,
yeah. Thank God he's so
some
kind.
people don't have, there's places in the world where people don't even have the shirt. So
It's
if I
true.
have a shirt, we'll take it. But no, for me, I'm like, all right, all this like Foden versus Saka talk, and I'm like, all right, so Foden starts against Malta, right? We've seen Foden play against tougher teams in Malta and look much better. Why yesterday against Malta did Foden I expect him sometimes to just like deliver because that's what we've been like Pep's been saving him, right, for a particular moment in time where he's going to be dominant and like be the reason why he was considered one of the best young players in the world. When do we get to see that guy on a consistent basis? Like, wouldn't it have been yesterday?
The thing is with the England team, especially matches like yesterday, they, I mean, what's the word? They pedestrianised themselves to a win. Like they would have had to have worked very hard to not beat Muller, with respect to Muller, because obviously the money they're on and they're professional footballers, and Muller, someone's going to tell me they are professional footballers and that, but you get what I mean. Like you say, there are levels to this, but sometimes it takes a higher level to activate the true quality of a footballer.
Yeah.
Because I believe laziness creeps in to an extent, and you're going to win, right? And you're not going to say that as in like you're not going to disrespect the opponent to go like we only have to turn up to win, because that's
Yeah.
a very naive thing to do.
Yep.
But it can come out in your play that oh, we're going to score at any minute, it'll be fine.
Yeah, and that mentality is why they are not going to succeed the way you want them to, because they need to be on all the time because the person behind them on the bench also can do the exact same thing, if not better sometimes than you. So you should be playing at your top optimal level. I mean, like Ann says here, we're just kind of making sure Saka and Rice, they have their legs and
That's
they
ironic
walk
that's
off
been
they
said
walk off
then.
they walk off the pitch, right? They walk
But
off
you're
the
saying
pitch.
you want to see the players at their optimum level, but then you're also worried they're going to get hurt. So you don't really want them at their optimum level for England. You want them
Well,
at their optimum
if
level for
Saka's
Arsenal.
not gonna, you saw what happened when Saka came on and Rice came on the pitch, right? Like I don't know if that was because they didn't start, the way they play, the way the game kind of picked up when they came on, or anytime Saka's on the pitch, I feel like that's what you get. You kind of get that with the team, the England team. You notice it when he's not there. As Steven says, that first half he couldn't watch it anymore because he couldn't make it through. It was really like this is why Southgate isn't the right person, because in these types of games, he should be dominating early and often, where he can bring in his next set of players in that second half, like the players that are on the cusp of maybe making the team. Like I don't. Let's see who was on the bench, who could have come on that would have who hadn't played. Rico Lewis, Ollie Watkins, Calvin Phil, Calvin Phillips, Isri Konza. That's a name I haven't heard before. But there are players on that bench that probably would not get a chance to put on a shirt and start and play. But they should have had an opportunity to do that yesterday, because the starters would have went in and done their job and finished it off right early, so they could get in. That's kind of what I expect to see, because that tells you what level they are on. So it's a level that they're, like you said, they were lazy. They came out basically not prepared to go out there and play their style of football, but just to go through the motions and get a sweat in. It's a qualifying event. You can't do that. Look at Brazil. Brazil looks like a team that's basically just going through the motions, and it doesn't. You can't turn it on once you turn it off. You know what I mean? And they lost,
Yeah.
right?
No, exactly.
And
I mean,
Brazil's
to
one
be
of the
fair
best
though, there's
football
far more leeway in South American qualifying.
Yeah, but they're sitting what, fifth or sixth right now because of that, right?
Now
They
they'll
might win.
qualify.
They're
They
probably qualified,
qualified
but
fifth.
yeah, but you know what? The continuity that you need in this in with those types of teams, the problem is you just can't turn it on. Like you can't just say, all right, it's the big championship, it's a big tournament now. We're all going to start playing better now. No, you always play the same way. You don't have to change anything. And we got Russ has joined us. So Russ, welcome
Oh,
to the show.
I hope you don't mind. I hope you'll still hear us. Don't forget to join us tonight for the Full Nelson podcast. Well, I hope you don't mind me doing this, Gary. Where it's that time again. It's time for Russ Morgan's mystery box.
Yeah, just like
What are we going to be watching? We don't know.
yeah,
Don't know.
yeah. It's like
We'll find out.
it's like the what is it? It's like the Let's Make a Deal. I don't know if you guys ever watch that, where they have the box and they're like, do you want to trade this box for the car? Or you want to trade this box for the trip? Or do you want to trade this box for, just the appliances? And then you see what's in the box and you're like, oh damn. Sometimes it hits. Sometimes it's just keys to a car. Sometimes it's just four tires. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Is Russ going to supply us with a terrible wrestling show to watch along to? Or is it going to be really good?
Yeah.
Spoiler.
See, here's my thing. This is where people like, Steven says, Ben White was right to walk away from England at the time. For me,
Yeah.
then that's why for some Balogun, for me, Balogun not playing for England he wasn't scared. He was scared of competition. He just didn't like the way they're being managed, and it wasn't going to change for the foreseeable future. So yes, some people say he ran away from competition, but then there's also it's Southgate, and that makes a difference as well. Especially when you're young and upcoming. Like we saw Nketiah get in there, get a shirt to and now he's not in there now. It's so fickle, right? Either you have the talent or you don't. It has nothing to do with playing time, so we need to get that out of there. That's not a requirement anymore. Doesn't matter what league you play in because we thought that was an issue. That's not the issue, right? Has nothing to do with football at all. Has nothing to do with football. If it did, England would be so strong right now. Like half the players probably wouldn't even be on this team. You know what I mean? If all the England players were healthy, you would probably see half the players on this team not even close to it being on it. Because I think there are really good players out there that just aren't getting a look or are done. I think Ben White is a quality player. He can back up any right back, right? Like he can back up Kyle Walker, give him a rest, right? You bring in Kyle Walker plays really good for City because he doesn't have to play every game, right? The man comes in on the big games and performs, right? That's what they need. He can't. I don't think he can play every game for England. Not going to get the best out of him. I don't know what you feel about the makeup of the team and why it's not all it's cracked up to be. He's might have done a really good job. I know you talked about this. I just feel like he's not done a good job. He might have done a better job and got England into a particular position, but do you see them really dominating for years, which they should? I think they should. They shouldn't be just coming
but
close.
we always should, because we have the biggest football infrastructure in terms of like funding and grassroots training and things like this. Like we're set up to always do well. The problem is we don't ever actually take full advantage of our financial advantages in football. But at the same time, I also believe we've thrown that away in part at the expense of having the best domestic league ever seen in football.
Domestic for me, nah, that's a poor. I don't know. I don't. You're saying
No, what I
the
mean,
reason.
what I mean is, Gary, if you look at all the players on the first weekend of the first ever Premier League season in 1992, you will discover like 98% of the players are English. That's a big pool of players to choose from.
Yep.
Whereas now, I don't know, I ain't got stats to hand, but I bet you it's closer to 10% than 90%. Which means that your pool of players to choose from is smaller. Therefore, you have got, I mean, just flat out, you're disadvantaged compared to everyone else. Like Spain, for example, will have a massive pool of domestic Spanish players in their league, but then they've got the best players that are in the Premier League. So they have the best of both worlds. Whereas Southgate doesn't generally pick Tomori, probably because he plays for AC Milan and he don't watch AC Milan matches.
Which is the dumbest thing ever I've ever heard in my life. It makes absolutely no sense. Like,
I don't know if that's true. That's what I'm guessing.
But that's what we're seeing. So we can only go by what we see. We can't unless you're in the room, right? Unless you're in the room,
yeah,
and he's telling you what he's doing.
They won't let me in the room. I've tried.
No. The door's locked to you. The door's locked to many of us. But we don't know. We can only go by what we see, and we see a player who's pretty good playing internationally outside of England not getting a chance. We see a young and up and coming striker who thinks it's better to go to USA, which it isn't. It isn't. I'll tell you that. It's not better to go to USA. But if he feels like, guess what, I have no future with the England squad, then I might as well go.
I guess why he did that, because he knows he'll play football.
And that's what you want to do.
Who's dislodging Harry Kane right now?
No, it's not dislodging Harry Kane, but Harry Kane, can he play every game?
Well, when it comes around to the tournament
striker,
next summer,
they'll pull him back, right?
Harry Kane will be up front.
No, I get it. That's like saying who's playing behind Mbappe and who's playing behind Messi and all that stuff, right? But they do have quality players that are playing. Like, who's playing behind Haaland? Oh no, nobody's gonna ever play behind Haaland. No, they have players that play behind Haaland. You know what I mean? So there is a spot for you, and you rather have the
Haaland
best.
Doesn't want to be that. That's clearly it.
No, I know, but you know what? And the infrastructure leads him to believe that if he was to come to England, he'll never see the light of day. Whereas other places, they probably will get to play, right? Harry Kane will either move back in the field or come off and go on the bench at some point in a game. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't have to play the full 90. And the team should be structured so that he doesn't have to play the full 90. Because guess what? You won the game in the first half. Right? You play Malta, you won that game in the first half if you're set up perfectly. So he doesn't have to play a full 90 just to make sure you can secure a win against Malta. That's the level, right? We talk about levels all the time. The level is, if you're England, you're playing Malta, the game is won in the first half. You're pulling starters at halftime if you need to, or after the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half. You can't do that because it's a 1-0 lead, and you're still struggling to hold on to that. Right, you make your subs and players come on with a little bit more hunger. Game picks up, and you're able to get 2 goals, 1 call back, and you see it out. That's the problem right there. You're saying it's because of Harry Kane. I'm saying it's because Harry Kane doesn't get his team to win early in games when he should.
Well, he does, just not the England team.
He has better players around him in the England team than in most of the club teams he's been on.
I'm not necessarily sure I agree with that, because Bayern Munich are a very, very good football team.
If I told you had Bellingham and you had Kyle Walker and you had Foden or Saka and you have Rice, I think those are some big names as well.
Are they supplying him though? They're evidently not, because he never scored. In that first half.
Yeah. No, you're right. And that is that because the players are bad, or is that because the way that they're playing is bad, like the way they're set up to play?
Someone's going to pop up. Someone's going to say, "Oh, but Bayern Munich are playing easier teams." But what, easier teams in Malta? What
Exactly.
you think you think the Bundesliga teams are weaker than the Malta national team?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'd be very surprised.
That's why it shouldn't. That's why it's in a comparison, but it's not the right one for this, because Malta is not is Malta actually making the Bundesliga? Is making the German first division? Are they? If you took the Malta team and said, "Go into German football and play," where would they be?
Probably the second division,
Exactly.
maybe
So
even the third. I don't know.
you know what I mean. So they're not at that level yet as a country, right?
Let's be fair, Gary. If someone went right now, name someone that played for Malta national team,
Mhm.
I couldn't. So I try to be very careful when I talk about them because I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm talking
No,
about.
but we're not talking about them negatively. It's just like the way they
No,
are
of course, no, of course.
in the world of football, right?
Yeah,
They're at the England level. No, they shouldn't. They're not, and England should be able
no.
to take care of them because they are the better team. Yeah, I mean, like Maguire is starting and Ben White can't get a game. You know that just says that's part of the whole structure of the England team is like, you serious, right? Maguire
Yeah, but
is
that shows, Gary, that football's not always about what goes on the pitch, and a
but
lot of it seems to be Ben White's own doing.
part of it is, but part of it might be Southgate.
Well, no, my understanding, right, and again, I weren't in the room. My
Mm,
understanding was the England backroom staff put a level of expectation on their players during the international duty, let's say
mhm.
the World Cup, where it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're literally not doing anything all day. So, and I've seen international England players say this, like for example, Jermaine Defoe said they were so bored on international duty they were watching Wayne Rooney's wedding video.
And that's bad on the that's bad on the on the England squad. Why are they doing that? They need to keep these guys engaged. Like, no wonder they come out of these games slow. You just basically killed any kind of energy. Like, based on what you just said for that 1 minute, no wonder they play the way they do. They kill any kind of energy they have coming out of that locker room
That
when it's
that
time
was
to
in
play.
2010, to be clear.
Does it look any different right now? What you saw
It
yesterday, does it look like a team that was like ready to go? Were they watching somebody else's wedding video before that game?
Oh god, I hope not. Wedding
But you know,
videos are crap. But 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 the point is, like, they were doing nothing. So then when they asked Ben White, that they put a small level of expectation, minimum level of expectation on him was to be just know your opponent, sort of thing, is my
yeah,
understanding of what happened. And he basically, because he doesn't like football, and again, as we've done on this show, I remember specifically, me and Sam, I think you disappeared for 5 minutes or something. I pulled up a list of like 10 players that don't like football. Ben White was one of them. But so it's a rarity, but he's not the only case. But the point I'm going to make is he didn't meet that expectation, which is a big expectation for them, and he had no real reason to not do it, other than he just didn't want to do it, which again is fine. But then don't be surprised when your coaching staff are pissed off when you don't know what you get what I mean. So, like, obviously, I know Arsenal fans are going to be like, Ben White should be in the team. It's like, but they don't think he'll be in the team because they don't feel like he wants to be in the team.
true,
Because
true.
being part of the team is knowing your, especially in a World Cup,
Yeah,
you got to take every little advantage you can get.
yeah, yeah. I hear you.
And,
I hear
and
you.
these are the sort of things you tell me all the time. Like every inch you need to take, you have to in
Definitely.
football.
Yes. I just don't. I just see. Yes, he's probably not doing what he needs to do, and that's why he's not in there. But I'm also looking at it like, and Maguire's the answer, and that's like for me, that's not the answer either, because
No, no, that's fair.
he might do all the 50-60% of the things that are required of a footballer, but the 40%, the stuff on the pitch that is also required, he can't do it. He can't do it anymore, and he couldn't do it that good before anyways when he was at a right age, right? So
Sorry, that
yeah,
Russ, what
yeah,
Russ has wrote is the phrase
yeah,
I was actually
yeah.
looking
That's
for.
it. The
Like
the
the
fine
small margins.
margins,
Yeah,
the small margins,
yeah,
the fine
yeah, yeah,
margins is where the
yeah.
teams beat you. Where the fine margins are what City does to most teams, and you think it's the big things. It's not. Everybody talks about their scoring, but it's their defense. Their defense is really solid, and you never talk about it as much as you talk about Harlan. And Harlan has nothing to do with the reason why they beat you. You don't score on them. First thing is you never score on them, and nobody thinks that's the problem. That's why when you get a chance to score on them, you have to score, because guess what? They will score on you, but you have to score when you have that chance because they aren't as good. Because you aren't as good as them.
Yeah. They can be got at, but no one gets at them.
No,
It's
you know why? Because
fascinating.
you never take the small margins, right? The fine margins. That's that opportunity to score. And when you don't take advantage of it, you're not clinical in front of the goal. You pay for it later, because we see it all the time, right? 0-0 game. You're like 10 minutes left in the match. They have the ball. Something crazy happens. Free kick. De Bruyne kicks from like 100 yards away, scores, and you're like, damn, we could have had a point there. No. You never had the point, because you weren't trying to get 3. You know what? You're not going to get the point if you're not trying to get 3. That's how it works for me. And as McConicle, welcome to the show, says here, the game didn't really pick up until the Arsenal players came on. And is that because they were
I
hungry?
sense a slight bias in people's reading of this, though.
No. But you know what? The game did pick up with the subs. You choose whichever sub you want, and let's see.
Yeah, it was the legs, wasn't it?
So it's the legs, or was it the energy? Was it the mindset? All of that, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you could have brought on most subs, and they would have injected that extra bit of quality against the tired
you would like
players.
to think so, but like
exactly.
When Foden comes on for Saka, do you see that bump? Now, I'm just picking on Foden because
I don't really watch England games, Gary. So I'm
no.
That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I whenever Saka is on the pitch, I feel like England's football is better. Foden
Saka's one of the better players. He's one of the best players in a team of great players.
But Foden's supposed to be better than him. When people list out the best young talents, they always put Foden ahead of him. They say you just don't see it much because he's playing for City.
Southgate is like any other England manager in that they all come in. I've said this before, but I'll say it again because they say it before and go against it. Where they come in and go, every player will be picked on merit. I won't have favourites. And then they all have favourites because he trusts Fanny Ross. He obviously trusts Maguire and Calvin Phillips because generally, when England have been at their best, it's because those two players have played well. He had a great European championship 2 years ago now, but just
when
I can see why he picks them.
Yeah, but but when we're talking about England's center backs and the old timers, the 30-plus-year-old players on their team, as like they're like dominating some of the conversation. That's when I'm like, that's when no. That is not what's going to win them any big trophies. Is Maguire playing well, right? If you have a Harry Kane on your team, it should be all about Harry Kane and not because you know what? Oh, he got another penalty. No, it's that he dominated and he scored some worldies, right? That's what it should be. Like, damn, they could not stop Harry Kane today, or damn, Sterling on the outside, it was crazy. Saka, they had no answer. All those types of like that. Your stars need to show up in the big games for your
Gary.
country, right?
I can guarantee you, if you went back to 2003 and like Googled like England team or whatever, you will find articles about team selection. That will never not happen. There will always be contention with who gets picked and why they get picked. That ain't going away. This isn't new. There will be a player in 2003 who everyone wonders how are they in the team? How are they still being picked? Why are they being picked? Why ain't a player I like being picked? Never going away.
True. Why do you have to be all this is how it is, though? This is not that kind of show.
That's football.
You're right, really. But I don't care. That's not what this conversation's about. What actually reality?
I know you like leading me down a path where you're right and I'm like, actually.
Because then you like bring us back to reality. I'm like, nah, that's not what we're talking about here. Yes, there's always going to be somebody. I just kind of felt
Okay,
like
we'll be
England.
sat here in 2026, and I guarantee you, we'll be talking about England team selection in more or less the same way, and it'll be there'll be an Arsenal player, and you'll either think he should be in the team, or you'll be talking like they are the best in the team.
I didn't say
That's what
that.
happens.
That's
No,
not.
but it's what will happen. I'll get out my crystal ball. And,
You know, as Russ says here, you can't get over a little argument with one of England's best defenders. Then that's his issue. Yeah, and it's as you said, it's not necessarily. It's not a little argument. It's a big part of what I guess Southgate wants out of his players. If they're going to kick him out for it, it's got to. That's like probably
it,
is a big
it's those
requirement of the
small
job.
margins, and he weren't prepared to put the effort in, Gary. So they were like, I don't care how good you are.
True.
In that respect, I admire Gareth Southgate for being willing to like harm the team for the long term good. Now, I don't think that's right, as in like I don't think long term that is a good idea.
Yeah.
But at the same, if it weren't an Arsenal player, you'd all say Gareth Southgate was right.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He needs to instill that definitely in the young players. This is not really the old players as much because like they are the future. Like Ben White is a young player and he needs to know it. But yeah, it should just be something. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. And is watching the Chelsea Liverpool match. I think I saw that last Chelsea was up 2-1 or something like that. So
Yeah, I saw that as
yeah,
well. Well, I saw the score update. I wasn't
yeah,
watching it. I mean,
yeah, yeah. Weird though, because of Southgate fallout with Kane. Southgate would be gone. You think
that's
if
player
that's
power.
you think that's well your best player? That's like if you fall out with Messi, then what's the point of coaching the Argentinian team if Messi's like, I don't know if I want to play there anymore?
Oh, 5-1. Maybe I should have been
Oh,
watching it. What I think is what I think is interesting. I mean, because obviously that is a fair example of player power on Russ's part.
yeah,
But what I think is, it's gone out of my head. You take the players. What I find really interesting is how there was Arsenal players in that team, and they never went to bat for. Well, I mean, we don't know this, but presumably they never went to bat for Ben White. They were all in on the team cohesive unit. They evidently had done the work that Southgate expected. He hadn't. And I weren't in the room. I don't know. But I'm guessing they were a bit like, well, Ben, you should have done the work.
yep,
I mean,
yep,
you can't just sit around playing pool all day.
yep, yep. Yeah, and then that's where that whole like I don't like football or I don't watch football. It doesn't. It's like that's part of your job though. Like you do watch football. I have no doubt you do. You're saying it in the sense that do you spend every waking hour watching football? And I think most players probably don't, but you do watch some football because I don't believe you learned
Just give me one
all the
second. I am
yeah.
listening.
I don't believe you've learned all that you have in football by just doing it on the pitch. I believe you've watched it on TV, like either for some instructional videos or just like looking at how a player plays. So I believe that. I don't believe he just did it. Nobody just does it sometimes. Sometimes you have to see it, and you see it in a video. So I think it was more like that's not my pastime. Like what do you do when you're not playing football? Well, I don't watch football. He didn't actually have to say that. He could have just said, I love going to the tanning booth or hitting the beach or something like that. You know what I mean? That's what it was more like. More do you want to hear? Because that's kind
In
of what
his
that's what it looks like.
defence,
Yeah.
maybe I see he sees football like I see golf. Like I imagine playing golf would be really fun. Hell, I might even be good at it. I'm not. Let's be clear, I'm not good at golf. But
Mm-hmm.
him, but I wouldn't want to watch golf. When I come off this show, I'm not going on Sky Sports Golf and watching the PGA Tour Championship or whatever. I couldn't give a shit.
Yep. Yep.
But that's maybe how he sees football. Football's really fun, and things are a lot more fun when you're good at it. So he turns out to be a really good at defending. So of course, when he's playing football, he's going to look good. People love doing things that they look good while doing it. Doesn't mean he has to watch it. But I mean, in this context, he obviously should have watched it. He should have turned around and gone, "Oh, again, I don't know what was asked of him, but just turn around, just Just tell him how you think you're going to stop Sadio Mane in the second round or whatever it was. Just tell him. Make something up.
Yes. Yeah. It's one of those things where you think about it just a little bit longer than you have, and just come up with some better answer. That's all. I mean, it's like the Ramsdale interview, like saying that I can't pay attention in games and all that. It's not that it actually makes no sense. None of you do, but you keep yourself engaged in the game by doing what? And this is what you do. He does. I am just gonna go and back chat with the fans, because guess what? That keeps me engaged in the game and keeps my levels up, right? Because you start to fall. Like if you're not getting shots, there's no possession on your side of the pitch. Your game gets boring, right? The game gets boring, and
when I'm at work, I'm actually sitting there thinking about not being at work. So,
oh, you know what's funny about that? When I chat with my colleagues, I'm always like, no, I'm like, yeah, I just really not have to work at all, but we do have to work. So if I have my choice between work or not work, I would not work, especially if I got paid the same amount of money. Like some people are like, no, I need to work. I'm like, no, I don't have to do that.
like I says that, like I haven't just defended Ben White on not liking football. Like I'm fine with him not liking football, but within that team environment, there's obviously a minimum expectation, and
Yeah,
everyone else met that expectation, and he
yeah,
didn't.
yeah,
And I get the impression it was basically he underprepared. I get the feeling from what was
yeah,
said about it that he
yeah.
basically turned up to school and just said, I didn't do the homework. He had nothing.
Yep, yeah. No, that's
He didn't do a
yeah.
poor job. He did
I'm
no job.
with you on that. I'm with you on that. I just kind of felt like why did he think that was okay? You know what I mean? Why did he think not coming to the job prepared to do the job was okay? It's like, that's basically what happened. Good morning, Ryan's here. He just woke up from the England snooze fest. Oh,
Like,
he did.
I've already described your demeanour during the show, Ryan. Basically, it was like, yeah, it was like you were doing us all a massive favour by like not falling asleep.
And Liam just had to whine and whinge during the game just because he had nothing else to do. It's like
He
I,
didn't
I got
even get to do. He didn't even get to do his classic. What is he doing? Because no one was doing anything.
that's
But
like probably the worst situation for Liam just watching that. It's like the baby's sleeping. He should be enjoying a good football match. He can't even do it. It's like, no, this is terrible. I'm watching this disgusting football on the pitch on the TV.
I got a story I've just found.
Uh-oh.
It's actually similar to Ben White.
Mm-mm.
Peter Crouch on Ben White Asu Ikoto, who was a player for Spurs
Yeah.
in the last decade. And again, he was another notorious I don't like football player. Like
Yeah.
genuinely doesn't like football. And basically, Peter Crouch said he would tell us straight out that he had no interest in football whatsoever. He genuinely didn't like it. At 1:30 p.m. on a Saturday, he would have no idea which team you were playing. But Benoit, we've been talking about them in training all week. So to his pre-match meal. Now, none of us are adventurous. It's pasta, chicken with no sauce. And it was that for 20 years. Benoit would turn up with a Tesco's bag. Tesco's is obviously a
Yes.
supermarket in England.
If you don't know what it is, then you're not an Arsenal fan. Because
Exactly. He'd turn up with a Tesco bag containing the same 4 items every time: a croissant, a hot chocolate, a full fat Coke, and a packet of crisps. The croissant, I understood. He's French Cameroonian. The hot chocolate, same cultural backstory. He used to dip the croissant into the hot chocolate, but the crisps and the Coke, it was like two discrete lunches. One belonging to a middle-aged Parisian and the other a 12-year-old on the Seven Sisters Road.
true.
It worked. He was always in great shape and rarely injured. We accepted it, along with all the other weirdness, the random cars he would turn up to training in. sometimes a smart car, sometimes a Lamborghini. The way he would refuse to take ice baths for recovery on the rather basic premise that they were too cold.
No, but you know what?
Benoit was a really weird guy, and we loved him.
Yeah, no, they're there's the Beast. You know, the Beast is for the Seattle Seahawks, right? The running back, Marshall Lynch, right?
Yeah, I know that guy.
Right. Yeah, and
He's
what does he
smooth.
love? What does he love? What food group does he love?
But I don't know that much.
Skittles. The man loves him
Chased the
some
rainbow.
Skittles. Yeah, he loves him some Skittles, and that's basically. I think that's one of the dietary. You have the dietary groups, food groups. He has a Skittle group, and he's a good footballer, good athlete, and all that. And yeah. So it's the players. Their metabolism works at different levels, and they're good with certain foods. We got Riddy has joined us. Welcome to the show, Riddy. So we'll have. I'm going to say this out loud. I probably shouldn't, but we might have a cricket discussion at some point. We might break out. This cricket is not over yet, right?
No, the final is tomorrow.
It's India and New Zealand, right? So that's what I saw there.
No, India murdered New Zealand.
Oh, India murdered New Zealand to get to the final.
In the semi-final. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The final is actually India versus Australia.
Okay. This is no surprise to anyone, probably, right? It's in India, and Australia is one of the top teams in the world. So there you go. There you go. So let's just say. So let's Rhea get away with his mistakes because Aaron doesn't switch on for a whole. I see now you're just showing your British bias because that is not it at all. That is not the reason why
that
Rhea
interview was cringe
with his mistakes.
Sorry, two things. Your dad going on. Why is your dad going on TalkSport to talk about you? Like, yeah, I'm sure he's really proud that his son's a professional footballer and that. But it'd be like, how would it look for Russ if Russ's dad went to his job and talked about Russ as if like, oh, my son's not really happy. It's terrible.
My son does wrestling shows on the weekend and surprises everybody with the shows that he puts on. He's a really good player. He's a really good team player, and he'll be really good for your company. No, just making things up. But
complete opposite. But he my other thing was the thing where I've seen it on socials, and it's Ramsdale basically telling Ian Wright that he doesn't switch on for the whole game, and we know he banters with the fans because we've all seen it. But to admit it, the way he admitted it, Ian Wright looked horrified.
Yeah.
Ian Wright, the look on his face, he was he couldn't believe what he was hearing.
Yeah. So in one breath, Ryan is saying one thing about the mistakes, but in the other one, he's not really talking about how Ramsdale basically says he has to banter with the fans because he can't pay attention during a football match, which is his job. He gets paid to do that, and he's like, nah. I can't find. I'm not really paying attention to this thing, so I'm gonna, So what? People have their. What is this?
No.
Yeah. So
subliminal advertising. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I get it.
It's sinister of me.
No, I as I've told anybody wants to listen, I think the whole Ramsdale Rhea thing was a terrible idea by Arteta. Either you bring in one, you let one go, or you don't bring one in. You can't have both. Arteta. And Ray has joined the show. Welcome.
No, make him wait the same 45 minutes. He makes me wait for acknowledgement on this show.
Okay, I don't do that on my show, so this is not his show. Why are we gonna do what are we gonna if he jumps off the bridge? Are we supposed to jump off the bridge?
Yeah.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that.
Yeah.
Jump
off the bridge.
No, stop it. That was bad where I went with that. So, I don't know what this means.
Hello, Ray.
That's not what this means. You said hello, Ray, to this. And I'm like, what?
Cray Wanderers watch along. Why not?
What does that mean? I don't know. But hello, Ray. Welcome to the show. If you have to do homework on the worst team in the group, then it's not even that. We're talking about World Cup, right? This is the World Cup. Any team, no, it doesn't. You know what? It's the World Cup. You can be beat by any team. And if that's the job description, then you got to do what they say. So, That's I agree with you in that sense, Mr. Tom. But I do also feel like the talented players also getting kind of ignored as well. So Ben White doesn't do his job, then he shouldn't get the job. When he actually, you know what,
Yeah, but
he did dive.
he
He did
spent,
dive. You
he
thought
spent
that
3 months. Sorry, he's been in the Bundesliga for what, 4 months,
yeah.
and his diving's already rubbed off on him.
Nah, really that was a dive. He knew exactly what he's doing when he dragged that left foot out there to make contact with the defender who was already on the ground and was never going to touch him if he just ran after the damn ball.
Yeah,
If
what
he
Ray
just
said
ran
there
up,
at the bottom is what I actually make of the Ramsdale thing. It's like I admire his honesty, but there was no value in being honest in that
yeah,
way when he was.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it was one of those things where you keep that in your head. Let's say
Yeah.
something else, please, because that's not really. It doesn't
Say it
make.
after you've retired.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, they should have bucked him. I don't think he. I think he dove. He dove, and the reason
Book
why I
him
think he dove
anyway.
is because he stuck his leg out to make contact. So your dad
I
thinks he can
find
do
this a,
better.
I find this a surprising thing because obviously Russ is one of the cultural staples of the watch-alongs on the Saturday.
His dad thinks he can do better. He's probably seen him in the back room all by himself doing watch-alongs by
He's
himself
actually
in
my
practice for the
favourite
game.
part of the intro. All that stuff's going on, and then there's like the snippet of Russ going, "My bit of it."
Anne says she likes Nick Ramsdale. Good on him. And does Ramsdale have a condition as in attention deficit?
I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah, yeah. No, it isn't. I don't think it's what he does to keep himself engaged in a game. I think it's we didn't need to know. We didn't need to know how the sausage was made, kind of thing. I don't. If that's how you keep yourself engaged by going after it, cool. I don't need to know it's because of why. Because the why is why. The why is what's like that information doesn't need to go out there because now all that means is what happens when the fans decide, oh, we're not even going to engage with him because guess what? He's just going to get bored out of his mind and he's just going to just fall asleep in the middle of a game because guess what? We are not even going to partake in this back and forth with you. You know what I mean? That's what he said. He said basically if I don't engage with the crowd rivals behind me, I won't be able to stay in the game. What if he's in a
He
quiet
did, yeah.
stadium where they don't?
He said it, and he cast himself in the worst possible light when there were ways to have said what he said and not look like you're not concentrating.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the important
Yeah.
thing is
Yeah. No,
we're doing
Ray,
the women's football show at 4 p.m.
no, he didn't even invite me.
No. Gender bias.
Gender bias because he
Yeah.
invited you and not me.
No, that'd be a racial bias.
Nah, you know what? Rams are bringing excellent energy. You know what? You want your goalkeeper to be engaged with the team. I get that because I think we've seen it before where goalkeepers are just like not really communicating with their back line, and you're like, dude, you should be screaming like every time you see like the back line mess up, you should see the goalkeeper screaming at them. You know what I mean? That's what I believe should be happening. Because guess what? Look, you guys are leaving my goal open. Stop it. Stop it. Ransdale could be too honest. Yeah, we just don't need to know all of that. I said what I think on this Ramsdale thing. Yeah, I hear you. It's just
Can
for
you
me.
copy and paste what you said?
This is a different show, a different time. This is like days ago. We forgot everything you said.
I'm not gonna. He said it like I'm gonna go. Do you know what? Actually, I'm gonna fucking watch it right now. I'm gonna see what he said.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So
All
as
right.
Russ says here, if you're diving against Malta, then your team is struggling. All right.
Pardon my
And
language.
they were struggling, right? If he thought he had to dive.
If you're going to dive during a World Cup final or not,
Yeah.
see, my scummy personality would actually be more likely to dive against Malta because of how unnecessary it is.
Yeah, but you're diving when you're up 5-0, not diving when you're still like 0-0 in a match. That's when you would do it because that's how scummy you are.
It's true.
He's doing it when they're 0-0, and they're just trying to create a situation where they might score. We're talking about a team. Mr. Tom, I know you. You're not doing it at 0-0 strategically. You're doing it at 5-5 to rub it in their face.
That's what upsets me about like Harry Kane in this situation. It's like you're doing it against Malta. like I can understand. Like you're a top footballer. Like you're the fastest to 20 goals in the history of the Bundesliga. He was. I think there's another player that actually surpassed him in the same weekend.
Yeah.
Someone else check it. I can't be bothered. But I hate my pet hate, and this is why this is the main reason I hate Bruno Fernandes more than because obviously he's a petulant child when things don't go his way. Like he's an absolute arsehole. But the thing that upsets me more is that he's an absolute arsehole when he's a fantastic footballer and he dives when he doesn't need to because he's a fantastic footballer. And that's my pet hate with footballers. When you are the superior footballer in the superior team and you are diving when the game is in the balance because you need the small margins or whatever, it's like, just fucking score a goal. You're better than them. Pardon my language.
No, I'm with you on that one. I mean, I do believe he's a good footballer as well. I just think he thinks that he has to go over and beyond to get his shine. And it's like, no. If you play your game, you're gonna get people are gonna say Bruno had a good game. They won 6-0 and he didn't even score. You know what I mean? That's how good I believe he is. He could be, anyways. But he doesn't feel like that. He feels like he has to have the 5 goals and assist, for GA or something like that for it to work out. Tom, is he loving life in the championship? Is Mr. Tom actually enjoying where his team is right now?
Winning 5 weeks out of 6 feels quite nice at the moment, on average.
But if you were winning 5 out of 6 in the Premier League, you would be feeling better?
We wouldn't win 5 out of 6 in the Premier League.
That's not the question. You changed the question on me.
Well, no, but we didn't.
No. You changed my question. I asked you a question. You didn't. You chose not to answer it by creating another question. The question was, and let's repeat it just because you didn't hear it. I'll say. Okay, I'll try. Okay. I'll say.
I'm a bit deaf. I'm a bit deaf. Please.
I'll try to do it again.
I'm having a medical issue. Yeah.
If you won 5 out of 6 in the Premier League, would you be loving life? Probably even better than you are now.
Does a bear shit in the woods?
So there you go. Welcome, Tayu, to the show. Welcome.
I mean, yeah, the answer is obvious, but I was answering in the context of, but that wouldn't happen, or that tended to not happen.
Once again, you're bringing this reality to this show, which I don't like. I don't like the side of you. You're supposed to be the king of nonsense, and all you're doing now is trying to bring reality and common sense to the show, which I'm really disappointed in because that's.
But it's the international break, like.
So now you're going off script. So you're going off script.
Some nonsense, yeah. I'm having a serious discussion here. I'm enjoying it.
And sorry, did I try to welcome myself onto your show? I didn't want to do that, but yeah, I would love to come on if I can, if the time works. Yeah.
We're still doing our show, Gary. You gonna leave mid-show to go and be a guest on someone else's show?
No, I'm not gonna leave. I said thank you for the invite. As a football, Arteta was played as a 6. 6 has issues with our 7 left, 8 and 9. Did this joke land? You're so funny. Ha ha ha. It is crazy that Arteta plays a 6 and I just don't see him as I look at Partey and I'm like and this is what Arteta used to do for Arsenal. Did it look like that?
I was a big Arteta fan when he was a player. Like when he played for Rangers.
No, he was a good player, but was he like when Partey's healthy and playing, like the best Arteta game and the best Partey game, do they look eerily similar? I don't think so, right? They seem to look different to me. Winning feels good. Yeah, you're right. Clean out those ears, Mr. Tom. Yeah.
I will. I'll do my yearly ear clean next week.
Oh, you know, and then like the candle factory will have all the wax they need for the entire
Yeah.
holiday season.
That's exactly
So,
right. That's exactly right.
so let's
Candles
see.
without borders.
Kane is a Balajah who always underperforming his missed penalties when it matters the most for England. Yeah, that's why I'm saying Kane needs to be that man, right? And you even talked about him as that man, and he doesn't perform like it. Oh, where did he go? Just like left me mid sentence there. That was mean, wasn't it, people? To get us, you left me mid sentence to go get a Coke. Why did you have to leave me? Or Pepsi, sorry. So, yeah,
Come on now, get the brand right.
yeah. Nah,
You're better than that.
like I said, Kane should have already had 2 goals by the time he dove for the third one. You know what I mean? That's how that game should have went. Yeah. Leave Tom at the wheel. You will still have a chance when you come back. You know, as Tom said yesterday, I am part of the new conglomerate that is the Full Nelson podcast. So there you go.
He's under my umbrella. As you may have noticed, the duck is gone. The StreamYard duck.
The duck
is
is
gone.
gone. So like, yeah. So we've moved on. We've grown up. Gary, can you go on the other channel and I'll come over here and take over? Oh, see, this is I don't understand what.
Sorry,
Russ, you could always join us. You know that. If you ever asked. So you might, yeah. So
Russ doesn't ask. He's too cool for school.
Oh, is that how it works?
But seriously, I do enjoy his.
I haven't been on a show with him in a very long time. Like it feels like I haven't been on a show with him in a very long time.
Are you coming on our watch along later tonight? Because obviously,
I might.
Well,
it all depends on.
I literally can't stop you.
It all depends on what Russ decides to show, because there are like, no, I have no clue.
No,
what I'm watching.
I'll be fair. I'm only pretending that I don't know. I do know what he intends to show. However, and it is incredibly good.
That's cool. It's
incredibly good. He's not done us dirty. In fact, he's gone above and when he told me, I was like, I had a big grin on my face. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of nice.
And Stephen, Mr. Tom has already made 2 sensible comments already. The third one, and he's out. So yeah, you know what? He gets 2, and then he's out. So he's already done 2 so far today. I'm hoping he doesn't get a third, or he's off the show. He's been sensible in like 2 comments today, and I don't like it. Bring your dad on. Yes, we're interviewing Russ's dad. So tell me about his wrestling YouTube days back when he was a youngster. Well, he had some problems paying attention during the wrestling matches. So I would body slam him, and that would wake him up, and then
what he picked on that first watch log was bollocks. No. Russ doesn't make the worst choices. Right. Right. Let's just say, right, hypothetically speaking, I can tell you who is known for making the worst watch-along choices. Now, I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to name names, but they do rhyme with Rolonzo. So,
that's so. You know what? Alonzo said he was late, and that's why he's not on the show. I don't understand. If you're late and you're telling me you're late, then I would expect to see you still on the show, right?
What made you think of Alonzo then?
I'm just saying. It just
because I never brought him up.
No, sorry, it wasn't related to what you were talking about. What did you say anyways? I forget. I just blanked everything you said for the last 58 minutes. So there you go.
Understand.
So here we go. Mr. Tom, is this true? We have guests.
It is true. It is true. Eventually, it is true that eventually the Derek gang will be here.
Oh,
when I can be bothered to put the Christmas
Derek
lights
and the gang. Oh man.
The Derek gang. My 5.5 penguins.
Yes. And Riddy going all nasty with Ray and his, what did I call it? His toes and feet show on his channel that he has.
Wow.
So that's where
That's something I could have done without knowing. See, confirmed.
Sorry. He never did. He didn't say. I just, I just was looking at a message. That's all it was. It was not related to his comment at all.
I mentioned I may have mentioned his Portuguese non-union equivalent cousin, Rolonzo.
The most level-headed panel member. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
I like arguing with Riddy, but when he says something that's factually correct, there's nothing I can say.
So I don't know. I think the U16s beat Liverpool 14-3. Yeah, 14 goals. I think he means the Arsenal U15s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, one kid, Chido Obi Martin, scored 10 goals.
Damn.
10. Got a question for you all.
Mm.
Genuine question, right? What is the most unique scoreline in the Premier League that has never happened? What is the lowest unique scoreline in the Premier League that has never happened?
5-6?
Nope, there's one lower. Very good though. Very good.
The lowest?
Like, as in the total number of goals, the lowest total number of goals that has never happened in a Premier League match.
5-4 then.
No, that's happened. West Ham beat Bradford 5-4.
5-5 then.
No, that is. I believe that has happened. I can double check when it did happen.
6-3? No, I think 6-3's happened. 6-3?
I think that has happened, but again, that's not the lowest unique number of goals.
Del Boy has the Gary gang. Tom has the Derek gang. Del Boy, I don't know what that is. What is? Can you translate for me?
1 second, as I want to tell you when the 5-5 was West Brom versus Man United in 2013, where Lukaku scored a hat-trick for West Brom.
Oh, 5-4. Okay. Yeah, can you translate this for me though? Because I don't know what this means.
Yeah, Del Boy has the Gary gang, and I have the Derek gang. Yeah, 6-4. 6-4. Tottenham beat Reading 6-4 in 2007.
You said 6-3. Was 6-3 a good one?
6-3. Southampton beat Man United 6-3 in that famous game in 1996. Berkovic, Ostenstad, Tizier scored. Tottenham and Man United blamed the kit, if I remember rightly. The
going
blue
down.
and
We're going
white
down.
stripes.
6-2. No, that sounds like I think I've heard that score.
No, 6-2's there. Leeds, Manchester United beat Leeds 6-2.
Yeah, it's a recent one.
There's a lot of 6-3s actually. Man City beat Arsenal 6-3 in 2013, for example. Liverpool beat Cardiff 6-3. Chelsea have beaten Everton 6-3.
I think really you're going up, but we need to go down, right? So yeah, because I said
there's
5-6.
One low. There's one lower than 7-4 in terms of total goals. To be fair, Portsmouth beat Reading 7-4 in 2007.
Going down 7-1.
No. There's one with more goals than that, but in total, that hasn't happened. But there are, for example, there's an obvious one that was higher. That has happened.
We just saw 4-4, so it's not that. 6-2 in that. 6-1, we've seen that. 6.
No, there's one that's lower than 8-3 Misfit. Do you just want the answer?
One more guess, everyone. One more guess, and then we'll do this.
Again, it's the lowest number of goals in a scoreline that has never happened yet.
And it's lower than 5-5, people. So, based on what you said. Lower than 8-2.
No,
They're lower than.
it's technically similar to 5-5, but no, 9-1 did happen. Tottenham beat Wigan 9-1 in
I
2009.
thought you said it was lower than 5-5, like lower than the total 10. And we said 8-2 isn't it? So 8-2 never happened. Is that the good answer?
9-1, 8-1 was.
All right, let's do it. Let's hear it, because we are at that point. I think we've exhausted.
Manchester United beat Nottingham Forest 8-1 in 1999, the game where Solskjaer scored 4 goals in the second half. Actually, in the final 11 minutes of the game, 4 goals. The answer is 10-0. There's never been a Premier League game that finished 10-0.
Oh, man. We didn't even think about that, people. I know I didn't.
Blackburn beat Sheffield Wednesday 7-2 in 1997.
10-0.
10-0. There's been
a game.
There's been games with 10 goals, but they were shared.
Yeah, you know what? And then like this season, you could see it. You could feel like maybe that could happen, because Luton Town looks like they could get blown away, and
Newcastle nearly got it.
Yeah. Well, they were 8-0, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So keep that in your back pocket, guys, if you ever want to do a trivia for someone.
So if you want to win a lot of money, put a pound on a 10-0 score line in a game you think is going to be high scoring on one side, and you might get rent money, flat money, for the month.
Let's not forget the 7-2 where Aston Villa beat Liverpool in lockdown.
Yeah. So.
Anyway,
Riddy's come up. Oh, full. I thought he was given a score line. I thought he 1-1. I was like, no, it's not.
There's a couple of 1-1s in football history.
But Armenia drew with Wales. Is that good for Wales, or did they drop points? I think, right?
I think that is drop points for Wales, to be fair. But
yeah,
they were losing 1-0 at half time. So they.
Is that I don't see that. Why is that not listed in the Is that European Championship, or is that something else?
No, it's European Championship.
Why isn't it not showing up?
Sorry, it's own goal on the strike off time. No, Wales are second in the qualifying group, but the problem is those 2 drop points means that Croatia have now got a game in hand on them and will leapfrog them with even 1 point.
So what when that was played today? I don't see it in like I'm looking in SofaScore, and the only games. Oh, there it is.
Qualification Group D. Yeah.
All right, there it is. I missed it. So Wales is second, so they're not really secured there, but Croatia is just a point behind, like you said, and can jump Wales. So what is it? The top 2, or does the third place team make it into?
I think it's the top 2, and I think there's like a playoff based on like the Nations League positioning. It's very complicated.
Oh, so you could finish 3rd, 4th, or 5th and still make it?
Yeah, I think it depends on like if you won your Nations League group.
Oh, okay.
Like I vaguely know, but I'm not confident enough to authoritatively say that. But so Wales are not. They can't qualify through this because Wales. If Wales beat Turkey, then they might. But no. He's right. Croatia are playing Armenia at home, and then they're playing what are they called? Latvia away today. So yeah, they're probably gonna get 6 points. So Wales have really fucked themselves.
How does that work? Oh, so okay. I was gonna say, how does that work? This
like Riddy's not factually correct right now, but he will be.
Yeah, no.
Because Croatia are not going to lose to the bottom 2 in the group.
True, very, very true. They have to draw both to make it easy for Wales.
Exactly. Which they don't get me wrong. If they do, it'll get really interesting. But yeah. Have a go at Riddy for being sensible.
I know, Riddy. What is up with this? These like easy comments that we can just like go, oh, that was a good one. So yeah. Yep. So we just went through. Well, that question of the day kept us entertained for a bit, didn't it? I enjoyed that.
I thought it was one of my better ones.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one because it's just like,
I like questions where there's like more than one. I know on this one there was one answer, but ones where people like throw out loads of answers.
yeah, because
Like,
it's easy ones because it's just numbers as opposed to pick a team or pick a player and you got to like know your era and
yeah,
know the players and all that stuff. And it's like, I don't think I'm going to know this because I have no clue what area you're talking about and who the players were in that era. Whereas like a scoreline, you've seen scorelines all the time. You don't remember who played it, but you do remember a scoreline.
Barry, Murford, Tidville, off the top of my head.
So here's the questions from the name an English team which plays in the Welsh League.
Now, I do know my Welsh League through Football Manager because I'm currently in the Welsh League on Football Manager, but I don't know which of the teams is actually in England. I know the Scottish team, Berwick Rangers, is in England, but on the border. No, I don't know really.
Oh, okay. Just what is it? Okay. All right. Oh, you know what? The reason why I brought up like this show is because I thought it was the game. I thought it was the game, but the game's tomorrow morning, my time. Anybody got answers for this one?
The New Saints are in England. My actual thought was the one I'm not going to say is the New Saints because they're the obvious team that everyone knows from Wales. But
You've been right. You would have been right.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's true.
So it's sunny over here. I don't know what it's like over for you. It looks pretty dark. What's going on?
It's getting dark. Yeah, it's 4 p.m.
That's right. It is that time of the year. Yuck.
The weather's not fantastic, so dull. Let's just say.
Yes. Oh man. INTERLULL international break. Yuck.
All right, so
Tell me.
okay.
What are you gonna say?
Oh, Ryan's gone live. Right, Ryan's gone live right now. You're gonna be watching the Ladies Premier League, huh? No, why is it not called the Women's Premier League? I don't like it. I don't like this. I don't like the phrase Super League.
Yeah, because it has I guess they had to make it different because they want to say the women's Premier League, like they don't have their own league. You know what I mean? So that's why they made it the Super League, because like they don't want it to be, well, the men have it should be the men's Premier League and the women's Premier League, but no, you guys are gonna have the Premier League and you're gonna have the women's Premier League. No, they have their own league. It has nothing to do with the Premier League and such.
Yeah, I guess slightly owned because it'd have to be owned by the Premier League. But just think like name and branding would be a lot better. I just think Super League as a name is like second rate because like plus that's partly because it's associated with rugby league in England. It's called the Rugby Super League or whatever it's sponsored by. But I don't know. I just think it's second rate compared to Premier League.
Yeah, well, it needed its own name, its own like English flair. Like Super League isn't like Premier, like it's, I don't know what word they could have used in the England vernacular that would sound like it's proper English football. You know what I mean? But maybe with a
I
little bit
also think they should
feminine twist
expand it
to 20 teams. Like, are they big
Yeah.
enough to do that?
Probably not, but there's a championship.
Maybe they should do, as you say, maybe they expand it, but maybe expand it by 1 or 2 teams each over the course of a decade or something like that, so they can build it up so that because teams will get demoted, right, and teams will come back. So you build it up such that the quality of the teams and the money that it drives will help those teams trying to get in and be part of the league. So you don't have these like Well, you're playing at bottom of the league. You're probably gonna win 5-0 easy all the time. You want it to be built so that every team has a
Well,
has
but
a
I
chance
think
each weekend.
that's my dislike of it now, is that there's like 12 teams in it or whatever, but only like 3 are actually good.
True.
Whereas I think if you had 20, although you'd still have those 3 that are the top 3, but then that won't make it any different to men's football, because there's a top 3, 4, 5, 6 in the Premier League that you'd look at and go, why are they bothering playing the other teams, sort of thing. So
Well,
it won't be any different in that regard.
Yeah, but the teams bring in the more revenue, and that the revenue allows the teams to build, right, and get better.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
But I just mean the common complaint about the Premier League is always like, obviously that it's very one-sided and heavily weighted and stuff. But I feel like the Super League is one-sided and heavily weighted. Whereas if you had more teams, teams get better by winning football matches. Whereas I feel like a lot of teams don't get to win football matches in the Super League generally because they rarely play each other and they all take turns to get battered by the big 3.
True.
Or if you want to include Manchester United in that. I try not to include them in anything.
It's always sunny in Philadelphia, says Ross. Yeah, it's sunny. It's sunny over here in New Jersey as well. I'm gonna have to go outside and do some. Tom, which team are you managing in Football Manager?
I have created my own club. I'm managing Team Tom.
That's original. You went all out for that one. You just like. How much your artistic team coming up with that name spent a lot of hours just trying to figure out how.
I can't remember which second tier Welsh team though that I took over. But in all fairness, I mainly do experiments now. Like I don't like play the game in like the original spirit that you intended to, because well, with respect, I've been playing Football Manager for 24 years. So I did eventually get a bit bored of, all right, well, let's play as Leeds. I like doing things and seeing what happens. Like what happens.
So we got to guess. All right, the third part of this, third leg here, as they say, of the stool. Now we can stand up straight. Got Lonzo in the house. Lonzo, how you doing?
Hey, Gary. Hey, Tom.
Hello, Lonzo. How are you, young man?
All right.
I did not make a vibrator sound. I don't know what he's talking about. No, I don't think I did that. Lewindundo, I went there on holiday a few months ago. Where is that?
It's in Wales.
Oh, okay.
They name places some weird things.
Wow.
They've got like a place there that's like, I'm leaning towards saying it has 26 letters, but it might be 46 letters. I can't remember, but it's very long. It's like you put your arms out, you wouldn't be able to hold each end of the sign of the town name.
Yes. So Riddy says, "Welcome to the show, Lonzo."
Oh,
look who's joined us. As soon as Lonzo joins, Colonel Ward shows up. What is up with that?
I've never seen Colonel Ward and Alonso at the same time.
That is interesting that you say that.
I think that when Colonel Ward puts on glasses, he becomes Alonso. But when Alonso takes off, can you take your glasses off for a second, please, Alonso? Fuck, it's Colonel Ward.
Oh my God.
That's funny, Tom.
Yeah. So here we go. So Russ is letting you know, Lonnie, no battle royal, I promise. So there you go.
That's good, man.
Alonso
I was lightly mocking Alonso earlier for choosing a terrible pay-per-view for our watch along, which was it was all good fun. It was all good fun. But no, I'll say, in fairness to Russ, and I admire Russ for actually keeping it a secret. Exactly. Right. Put it up, please, Gary.
So, well, which one is Superman? Which one is Clark Kent? Which is the bumbling dude who falls over his own feet? And which one is up there, like, saving the women?
Well, Alonso has the glasses on, so
I will be Clark.
Sorry, Alonso. You're a hard-working man, but you don't get the women. You don't get the women.
I get the Cougars.
full marks to Russ for not actually giving away what he's picked. But what I will say, again, when he told me, I was thrilled. I couldn't wait to start picking out the slides and stuff. So yeah, it was all good.
Colonel Ward,
But
you do have a
you'll
point
be
because
very happy tonight, Alonso.
Yeah, Colonel Ward, you do have a point. No Lord Greenwood, and no Michael Jackson, and Mr. Tom has actually made two. Oh crap! See what you did there? So you mentioned the name, and then Mr. Tom leaves, and then somebody returns.
Hey everybody! I'm Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson.
I think Colonel Ward must be.
Jesus, sorry.
Come on, motherfucker.
See, there you get Colonel Ward. You mentioned the name, and the man shows up. So what's crazy is about your look right now, Michael, is your nose. It's just not. What happened to your nose? Your nose changed for every album.
There were complications in my surgery.
Hey, Gary, can I answer this question?
Yeah, definitely. So, Reddy's got a
my
question
nose
for
to
you.
beat
Alonso, sorry, I'll say, what do you think of Everton's point deduction? I don't even know if we even spoke about that today yet. So, but go right ahead, Alonso.
I think to me, I think the FA did right by the point reduction. However, there's an issue with the bigger clubs that aren't getting caught with this, and why it's taken so long, to get them to realize what Man City and Chelsea have done is just as bad, or worse. And I was reading Twitter yesterday about this whole deal, and you talk about Everton being Everton, never winning anything, and all that, but there's some history behind that club, and so that it's treated unfairly. Whereas Chelsea and or City had all this money behind them, and it's very disappointing as a football fan, because I want City to get in trouble as well, and Chelsea. However, if City do get in trouble, that means that we won the trophy, I guess, right? So, but
everybody gets trophies, right?
And essentially, I wish that we would have done it the right way, because getting handed down something is not ideal for me to win the trophy, I guess, So at the end of the day, it's kind of unfair for everyone involved, but with Everton especially, because they look at Leeds and look at last year. I think who got Leicester City, right? So
Yep.
you kind of look at their perspective as well as a fan of them, and the whole process is messed up in my opinion.
I hear you. I mean, if it takes what 3 to 4 years for the charges for Everton, and City has 115, and who knows how many years it's been, 4 or 5 years. It's going to take a lot longer to get this thing done. I think they needed to just strip it down and just charge them on, if they can charge them on the one thing or whatever, the most outrageous, the easiest thing to charge them with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They should just do that. And if they want to go after all of them, eventually they can do that. Spend all their time.
All your grandchildren will be able to do podcasts on Man City's points deduction and relegation, because it ain't happening in our lifetime. So I'm not concerning myself with it.
I hear you.
I fully expect to be in a box in the ground when this judgment comes down on Man City.
So
but they say that they had the money to back it, which is kind of unfair to Everton, right? Because they 20 years ago they're bigger clubs than City and Chelsea, right? and then you got this Russian oil money and then the Saudi money for City and Chelsea separately, then they have all the money in the world where they could bribe people with, and that's kind of unfair, um, for everything because they couldn't fight it, I guess, or whatever the case may be. They got wronged, in my opinion, in a sense of punch reduction, which is a fair deal because they could have been a lot worse. Um, so, oh.
I hear you. Yeah. See, this is more entertaining than the England match. So there you go. Lonzo
Yeah, but
joins.
to be fair, I once spent 28 minutes on the toilet, and that was more entertaining than the England match.
Nobody wants to know. Tom needs a haircut because, like, look at his hair right now. I mean, it's just all it's all over the back screen. It's not. You think it's actually dark there? No, that's all his hair.
Jesus Christ!
I've got an afro.
Yeah, what City and Chelsea have done is 5 million times worth. They cheat other clubs out of millions upon millions in cash and titles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they go over to this. They go over the low hanging fruit, as I like to call it. They go. You see all these small clubs getting punished. Big clubs. I mean, like I said, we are one of the big clubs, Arsenal. If we did something stupid like that and we get caught, we should get punished just like we're supposed to. So, yeah, I think it's bad, and it hurts the little team. It hurts most of the teams in English football, not just those that get relegated. It kind of trickles down and pushes everything down.
Well, I just hope that City and Chelsea get the same punishment as Rangers did 10 years ago. So it was they got sent down all the way to the lower division, and they had claw away back. But I know it's different circumstances. But still, I mean, if the FA could just have some nuts, some balls to do something like that, which we all know is not the case, right? Because they're gonna be afraid because of the backing of the clubs. It's the City, they have that Saudi money going in, and imagine if that happened in Newcastle, right? And if they have it happen to them, and Gary, I don't think that the Saudis know what's at stake here. The owners, because they have money, right? They don't know because they're not English. So they can care less of the punishment, in my opinion. So
it's not even just where the money's coming from, though. It's any big time money. It's basically, and it's the FA has to establish and hold on to whatever makes English football, and not let it get. I think let it get taken away by money, and money comes with the influx of the international, ownerships and stuff. This is where that's just stupid.
Tommy Cheeto.
That is just so stupid. Oh my god! I'm sorry I made that comment.
Sorry, go on.
I'm sorry I made that comment. Now see what I did. It's all on me, guys. I'm sorry. I was just trying to make a joke, and he took it there. He took it there. You're right. I just think it's all new ownership that comes in. Like if you're in the United States and you're international, if you're an international businessman and you want to come into any of the big teams, I don't think they let you in. Yeah, I mean that. I think there might have been one, but I think in general it's all U.S. based ownership. One to keep it home and one to keep it home. That's why I think English football. They don't mind taking the money, but they needed to keep it English to some degree, be it by part ownership or something like that. Because if you said you can come in, you can take over a team, but you only get 50%, the other 50% stays in England. They probably would still do it because that 50% is a lot of money, right? But at least the team would be, you kind of establish and hold on to certain things that are, our Liverpool, our Leeds, our, United, our Newcastle, and not like what somebody outside the country is thinking they want out of that team. But I ramble on. I'm rambling. This sets the precedent now. The Premier League always says they don't need an independent commission. Let's see what they do. Yeah, definitely. They need to be consistent, and they actually need to follow through. Not let this thing drag out and then disappear. But I think we all expect it to just disappear. Yeah. So the lesser teams will cooperate because there's less to lose. Right? What are they're not losing as much as like a City is. Right? Or a Chelsea.
Because like what happened was last year, they weren't very good, so they knew that the situation they were in wasn't gonna help their case. I think it's a shame that happened at Everton because they were once a mid-table team. Now they've gotten way below because of the money situation. They pay players that don't play well, and or they don't really. I don't know, Gary, but you my point, right? It's like they've fallen way back. Ever since I started watching like Arsenal, Everton has always been a club that has respectability, and now they just don't even have that anymore. And whether that's ownership or it's a board buying the wrong players or players just not staying for a long time, they're once a good football team, but now they just are barely hanging on they're hanging on not to get regulated.
I hear you.
So
No, I mean, but also with that, right? Everton was able to bring in who was their last manager when Arteta came in, right? You can bring in
oh yeah,
a
I'm
quality. You
sorry.
bring in a quality manager like that, then that says something. I believe that they even would consider. Maybe it was a stepping stone, but I felt like they let him go or he left. I can't remember how it worked out, but he definitely left them. But you definitely expected him to play much better football, right? And
Yeah, he
maybe the
left them for
backup
Real
there.
Madrid.
So he just left them, but yeah, which is hard to say no to,
Mhm.
right? It's hard to say no to. I mean, I don't know if they even got any money for it. They may have, but I don't remember how that thing all worked. But it should have been. That's a big move not to get anything compensated for it.
I've got an opinion on Everton that may shock you all.
Uh
I think Everton should be wiped off the map.
oh. I don't understand where that's coming from. Like seriously, do you have something against them? Because I've never seen it before in you.
Well, Everton are cheats basically, and I hate cheating. And other than when I'm doing it, but I think Everton. I mean, ultimately, Leeds sold 2 players, so then we would comply with financial fair play, and ultimately that's punished us because that then meant that we brought in lesser quality players, but while Everton just continued, however they spent it. But the fact of the matter is, they should have sold one of their quality players to comply with financial fair play, but they didn't. So they kept that. They should have sold Dominic Calvert-Lewin if they to comply with financial fair play, but they didn't. And you know what? I'm not necessarily that player specifically, but that's probably one they would have got the most money for. I'm
Yep.
guessing. They didn't, and basically, to me, 10-point penalty. Basically, now that they're a better football team, which timing's really convenient on that. Funny how it never happened last year when they failed and they would have got relegated, or the year before when they failed and it would have got relegated with this same penalty. So they've waited until it had the least amount of impact on them.
Yeah. The penalty should have an impact. You know what I mean? It should have an impact. It should be a deterrent, not a. Because 10-point deduction is nothing. That's just like having a bad month, and dropping points in life.
The message it sends to me is the punishment is not worse than the crime, because the crime will make you a better football team.
Yeah.
And
the way
it will
things are going,
overcome the punishment.
And they say they had, and people probably would expect them to get between at least 30, 40 points anyways. And that might be more than enough to stay up in the league this season with the way that Bournemouth
And there are people
Burnley
who are going to turn around and say, Gary, that, you finished 19th, so you would have got relegated anyway. Yeah, exactly. So that's why my bias is irrelevant in that context. Because if they got the penalty that last year, we would have gone down with them. So fine. But also, you know, if they'd have got this penalty this time last year, everything would have played out differently.
Mhm.
Because Everton wouldn't have been on the front foot in that relegation battle. So then that motivates everyone else. Now, I'm not necessarily saying we would have definitely survived, but you don't know. To be fair, we didn't deserve to survive. So I'm not playing this like we should be in the Premier League and Everton shouldn't. My point is Everton shouldn't be in the Premier League, regardless of where Leeds are. Fuck them. Fuck
Sure.
Everton. Fuck the city of Liverpool.
Yeah, there you go.
Where Everton is.
Tom, you are Tommy Jackson. You don't know who that is, do you?
Hey.
Tommy Jackson. Okay.
Yeah.
The new show, The Reckoning. Oh, we haven't lost Alonso, but City
He
and
always turns
Liverpool.
up.
Yeah, Leicester and Burnley are filing suit against them. Yeah,
Leeds are part of that as well. I believe we're all suing Everton for 100 million each in lost revenue. Because the financial ramifications of being relegated are not necessarily the obvious ones, as in the TV deal.
Yeah, that's why this going after Everton is going to hurt, I believe, any kind of semblance of punishment for like Chelsea and City, is because they're going to look at, like, the FA is going to look at this and go, so if City and Chelsea were to get points deducted for whatever they've done, not only will lower teams be complaining, the big teams will definitely be asking for some compensation as well, to be compensated somehow, be it financially or, trophies or whatnot. Even though I don't think trophies will happen, but I kind of felt like, yeah, it's going to create. That's why you need to go to the big fish than the smaller fish, because eventually they're not going to want to punish City. Because once you punish City, how many, like Liverpool will say, look, how many times are we going to score 90 points and not win a league? Not too often, but we did. It happened, right? How many times are we going to be maybe the second best team in this league and be like, basically 2 and 3, 4 levels behind the first team, and we weren't playing on a level field. We weren't playing on a level field. I think what is this? The galvanize their players, and Dice will try to get the C's mentality going.
But this is the thing. This is the thing, because they now get to act like the league is against them, but it's not against them. Because if it was against them, it would have been a higher penalty thing. Because they're not even bottom. The punishment hasn't even put them bottom of the table.
You lose 10
They're still
points, and
above Burnley on goal difference.
See, the punishment has to be like half the points, like at least 38 points to make it worth. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've got to put it this way. A punishment, in theory, is meant to make you think, no, I shouldn't do that again. But what this punishment has actually done is now going to have a lot of teams thinking, maybe it is actually worth spending more money.
Yeah, because 10-point deduction means nothing, right? That could mean you win the league or you finish top 4. And if you're like, if you're City, you finish top 4, you're going to take that in a punishment season, right?
Yeah.
You're still in Champions League. Right? He could potentially be still in Champions League, but yeah.
Well, yeah, from next year, 25% of the league is going to qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And Man City, you're raking in record profit this year, or something like that. And it's like, you don't have enough fans to rake in a record profit. What are you, like, you're sponsoring yourself for a start. Like, same as what Newcastle are going to be doing. Like, Newcastle have mysteriously now earned themselves a record sponsorship deal, mysteriously, from a company in Saudi Arabia. Well, imagine my shock. Now, Mohammed bin Salman has basically Newcastle, like PIF chairman or whatever. Mohammed bin Salman is going to be really thrilled with the Newcastle sponsorship deal that he has signed along with the Saudi travel whatever boss, Mohammed bin Salman. Funny as Mohammed bin Salman can negotiate a deal with Mohammed bin Salman. And the league are like, absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. I see nothing dodgy about this sponsorship deal at all. Or whoever it is. It's just the first Saudi name came into my mind. But Gary, there's something dodgy going on with that team and that regime. And I fully expect to be killed within the next week for saying that. But let me tell you something, Saudi. Let me tell you something, Saudi regime. You'll be doing me a favour. Because then I won't have to sit here and pick out slides and stuff from multiple YouTube shows on a weekly basis. So if you are thinking of beheading me for saying that you're corrupt and you're infesting the Premier League like a virus, you'll be doing me a favour by removing my head from my shoulders. Think about that.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Think about that.
He's being funny. Yeah. Let's move on.
Let's move
on, Mr. Tom. So, the new Champions League format and the Football Manager don't like it at all. Yeah. Yeah. What is it? You said it's 4 teams, but the 5th team could get in on whatever the point scale coefficient or whatever it is, right? So.
Yeah, basically, because England has a really strong coefficient of performance in European football. Basically, more years than not, the Premier League will get 5 spots.
Yeah.
Potentially 6 if one of us wins it.
And in reality, that's not necessary. I know they're doing this all for more money because they want to let more leagues in is what they should do. Not,
That's
they want
to keep the
if they want
happy.
No, I get it. I get that. I mean, Champions League. I guess European. Are there leagues that aren't even considered in it in Europe? Like what leagues? Like Hungary, or like what leagues?
No. Every league in Europe, I think, apart from Liechtenstein, has a. Every league in Europe has a spot in the Champions League, but it depends on the coefficient to when.
They get
and by
2,
Champions
3,
League, I mean the qualifying stages.
Very true.
The Welsh champions always enter the Champions League qualifying round, but they never get because of all the seedings and stuff. It's basically seeding in a way that every association has a spot, but they want the big teams to actually get into the tournament.
But Tom, doesn't qualifying start in July?
Yes.
Or late July? Okay.
No, July, yeah. The Premier, for example, in say 20 years ago, so 2003, I remember there was a year Man United finished. I can't remember where they finished, but there was a year when Man United had to enter the qualifying round of the Champions League, or like Arsenal. I remember you beat Udinese one year in Champions League qualifying. Like you were in the final round, like the team that finished in the lowest qualifying spot. So let's say, for example, it was 4th, and Arsenal got you were masters of 4th at one point. But then you had to play a qualifying round to get there, and then eventually UEFA went, "Oh no, we don't like the risk that the 4th English team might not qualify." So just automatic spots for everyone. You get a Champions League spot. You get a Champions League spot. Even Arsenal. Champions League spot, sort of thing. And yeah, don't care. Just want all the English teams in it, apart from Leeds.
Yeah, and you're right here, really. Most teams have a dodgy ownership, and people will look at the ownership for City and Newcastle and say that's a bit dodgy. People will look at Arsenal and say, you know what, their ownership is dodgy too. At there's levels to this thing, right?
They're the only owners. They're the only owners that actually pay for Premier League refs to referee in their association's league midweek, though.
There you go.
They give pocket money to referees.
There you go. And they're not asking anything of them. They're not asking.
No, of course they're not. They would never do that. They would never specifically say, "We're going to pay you to fly over here in first-class accommodation, 5-star accommodation, where You referee our game on the on the Wednesday, and then you referee a Newcastle game on the Saturday evening. And where it's a conscientious decision is to be made, we know you'll do the right thing. But I'd never suggest that. I'd never suggest wrongdoing, despite the fact that I do nothing but suggest wrongdoing.
True.
And you will all suggest it eventually when they start winning everything.
I think everybody thinks it's a Man City Part 2 or 2.0 or whatever you want to call it. So
yep.
It's
even more insidious. Sorry.
It escalated fast. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. English.
Do me a favor.
English teams playing each other in the league stage. Yeah, that works maybe, right? But it doesn't get you. It doesn't get you playing.
Do you know the format? Do you know how it's going to work? I've seen it play out on Football Manager as well. It's amazing. It's a 36-team league.
Yeah.
You play 8 games. Basically, they divide the 36 into 4 groups. For the purpose of the fixtures, not the actual layout. And basically, you'll play 2 of the top 8 seeded teams or whatever it is. Then you'll play 2 out of the next lot, 2 out of the next lot, and 2 out of the bottom lot. And basically, you play of those 8 teams, you play them once. So you might be unlucky enough that you have to play Real Madrid away.
Yep.
You might be lucky enough that you have to play Celtic at home. Purely random, apart from the fact that it's split. And then the top 8 go through to the second round. The next 16 will play off in 2 legs, and then that 8 goes through to the second round. More games, basically.
True. It's kind
a
of
bit
cool
like it's like now how in the Europa League the group winners go through.
Yep.
And then the teams that finish second have to play the teams that finish third in the Champions League.
Yep.
In the playoff to then join the 8 Europa League group winners.
Yep.
The only difference is that Sevilla and their European history is over after this season. Because if they qualify for the Champions League, they have to win the Champions League or it's nothing. There's no dropping into Europa League 46 times and then winning it. Gone. Over. Kaput. Done. Victor Orta, director of football at Sevilla. Go fuck yourself. Sorry. He used to be director of football at Leeds. Not a fan. Not a fan. He told me Jesse Marsch was the man to replace Bielsa. He told me that. He said,
oh boy.
He said Jesse Marsch plays a similar style of football to Bielsa, and then I watched it, and I was like, this could not be more fucking different.
That is not a good thing to say out loud. That doesn't sound right.
If I built a time machine, right, I'd build a time machine and I'd go back in time, and there may be a million things that would probably be more productive to go back in time to see. But I could see Jesus being born. I could see Diego Maradona score the hand of God or whatever, right? But what I would actually do, I would go back in time to the moment that Victor Orta said that Jesse Marsch is a natural successor to Bielsa, and I'd poke him in the eyes with a rusty nail.
I thought you were going to slap the back of his head or something, but yeah.
I'm just saying. Too far?
Yeah, probably. But it's all right.
Probably. I forgot that I'm married. Sorry.
Yeah. So really said he went to a Sevilla game. Surprised they do not have many traveling support. Well, they probably can't act like they do at home, can they? So might have a little bit to do with it.
Well, the price of Arsenal tickets, they probably were like, fuck that.
That might also be a deterrent, and the cost of traveling to England and doing all that stuff is probably like, nah, we'll just stay home.
I will say though, in 2001, my Champions League ticket to Real Madrid versus Leeds, I think it was £26.
Oh wow!
£26. Yeah.
And I think there was a £13 tier as well. But at the same time, with respect, I don't want to sound pretentious over this, but if you're already going to Spain, you might as well pay the £26 instead of the 13.
True.
I'd dread to think where I'd have been put for £13.
Yep.
Probably in like the boiler room or something.
Sounds about right. Sounds
That's
about
yeah.
right.
So, it was,
All right,
it was a good experience.
We're almost at the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
And I think should be landing soon. What do you think?
Yeah. I think I've taunted as many murderous regimes as I'm in the mood to today.
So Lonzo, you're gonna head out of here, but
I don't know.
we'll let Lonzo have. We're gonna head out of here, but we'll let you have the floor.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, so hey guys, thanks for having me on the show tonight. Today I was a little bit late, but it's all right. Yeah, so yesterday I saw the England game and it was kind of boring actually. But Bukayo Saka shows his importance, and that was a good assist to Harry Kane. Though he kind of cost us a third goal, or cost England a third goal by being offsides like a moron. Anyway, check us out tonight on the Full Nelson podcast with myself, Tom, Russ, Tony the Turner, and Sam.
Did you call him Tony the Turner?
Yeah, man.
All right.
I got mixed up by saying I was gonna say Tony the Tiger, but Tony the Turner would also do, I guess. And also Stan will join us tonight as well. Maybe some guys in the chat and Gary maybe as well. Anyway, so yeah, I mean another week into the Arsenal play. What else? Oh yeah, doing tomorrow on maybe Ray will have me on tomorrow on Arsenal Fan Circle to discuss some
I
other.
already told him not to.
Okay, great. Well,
I told him I'll be sick of seeing your face by tomorrow. So
mine?
Yeah, I'll be seeing you twice today. So I was like, I don't want to see him a third time this weekend.
We'll play, Tom. Anyway, so you guys in America, you and Gary, me and Gary, sorry, have a happy Thanksgiving if I don't see you guys until then. And you guys have a good week and good weekend.
Cool.
Wait, when's Thanksgiving?
Thursday.
Ooh, that's my cheesecake day.
I got cheesecake now.
No. Every Thanksgiving, I have a slice of cheesecake.
Fair play, Tom.
Yeah, it's become my tradition. I do my American football bets and I eat my cheesecake while watching a bit of American football.
Nice.
Sorry to take over.
Oh, I'm done. Yeah.
End of my head.
Cool. All right, Lonzo. Thanks for that, Mr. Tom. What say you?
Yeah. So it's a shame you can't see the afro in the darkness. I might have to bring this back under lighter conditions. But anyway, I move on. Yeah. Actually, I might wear this when Carlito's on the screen. Anyway. So thank you everyone for supporting the show. Be sure to join us tonight, midnight in the UK. I believe it's 7 in the Eastern Hemisphere of America, and yeah. So I've put the link in. Yes, there's no excuse. As Ray says, always believe what Tom says, but more importantly, Tom invented football. Always remember that.
Yeah.
I invented the sport.
So Lord Greenwood did not join us today, and how are you feeling about that?
How do I feel about Lord Greenwood not being here?
Sam, welcome to the show. Sam, welcome to the show, but we are about to head out of here, man.
I was really upset that Lord Greenwood didn't join us because I enjoy his unique brand of
talk.
Tasteless talk. Yeah.
There you go.
And calling everyone a slag is what I missed.
Yeah, you slag. You slag. Sorry.
He loves your new hair.
Thank you.
And I
remember one time when Ray. Oh, that's the link for the. I nearly gave away what it was going to be. As we call it, or basically, Russ has now got his own meme. Whenever it's a Russ watch along, I'm going to do a variation on this. Great coincidence that both the box and Mr. Burns are in the photo, because of course. But under Mr. Burns' theory, you can trade whatever you want for what's in Russ Morgan's box.
True. There you go.
People will always take the mystery box. Just human nature. People always choose the box. The box.
Yep. All right.
What does Russ have in store for us tonight?
Yeah. Check it out. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to be there. Be there. Cheesecake should be enjoyed more than once a year, Mr. Tom.
Gary, what is the link about?
The link is for your show that you're going to be on.
All right.
Lonzo, aren't you on a show later on tonight?
Yeah.
That's the link for it. If you want to go watch it, just. Yeah, I mean, you're on it, but you could go
turn around,
well.
Alonzo. You're bound for the show for 14 seconds. 14 seconds.
No, because Russ was like, I'm walking my dog. Give me a half an hour, please. So I thought that he was doing his own show, like in a half an hour.
Russ Morgan doesn't decide how long this lasts. Russ Morgan's dog doesn't decide how long this show lasts.
Lonzo pretending he doesn't know. He's a funny man. He is a funny man. All right, Mr. Tom. Mr. Tom has said his goodbyes. I'm going to do the same here. So thank you again for joining us. We'll be back next week where we'll be getting, I think football would have started back. Club football would have started back, but Arsenal would not have played yet. So you know what? We'll probably be on long time next week because we'll be on at our usual time, but then also Arsenal plays right after our show usually ends. So we might just stay on for that. And I think Mr. Tom might be okay with that. All right?
I might disappear due to getting food, but then I might return with food.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Personally, I don't.
You might start the weekend show off. So we might just do that as well because it'll be early day. It'll be a long day for me.
Mysteriously, the time doesn't really matter mysteriously for the show anymore, does it?
No, we're going to start at 10 now, and we're going to go until we feel like it. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go, everyone. So thank you again for joining us. We'll be back. Lonzo, thanks for coming on. Mr. Tom, thank you for coming on. Everybody, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time with us. We love it, and we want to see more of it. But we'll be out of here. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Life is a journey.